It's 1972. Nolan Bushnell and Ted Dabney have just founded the company Atari, what later would become a pioneer in the future of arcade games, home video consoles, and home computers. However, because of Nolan's previous jobs in the entertainment industry, and Nolan and Ted's previous conversations before they founded Atari, Nolan suddenly had an idea of a place where he could host Atari's own video games for profits and change the current crime-focused reputation of arcades at the time. And in that moment, Nolan accidentally conjured up an idea that would accidentally reshape the idea of an entertainment center as a whole for almost 50 years, changing and molding one character to become a representative of middle-class childhood culture and become an icon for years to come. But first, he needed a mascot and a name. But after visiting the IAAPA Expo, he found his mascot and now just needed a name. That name being
Feature Time Theater presents most incredible pizza place in the world!
Coyote Pizza was the original idea for Nolan's pizza place Parlor, the base concept being of a restaurant/arcade starring pizza, because Nolan said it was the easiest not to fuck up. To entertain the guests while they were eating, Bushnell wanted animatronics, reflecting Bushnell's original life plan as being a Disney Imagineer. He then incorporated that into his own restaurant with slightly less animated animatronics. These bots, however, have not been conceived yet, as Nolan is still in the planning stages. However, they were certain that the main attraction would be the coyote of an unknown name, who should be arriving any moment in costume form, as Nolan had seen at the IAAPA Expo, which should be right at the door. Nolan, we're gonna have a problem. Starting off in 1977, Nolan and his team for the upcoming restaurant have now realized that the coyote was actually a comically large rat costume. Nolan, however, deciding to go with the flow, kept the rat, and the name went from Coyote Pizza to Rick Rat's Pizza. However, having the word rat in the name wasn't a good idea, which is why his PR team, to hide the truth behind the mascot, they hid the name by attempting to make it food-related, that being the Big Cheese. However, for some weird reason, in a similar case to the SpongeBob Mop copyright case, it was owned by the Marriott Hotel Company for some reason, and thus couldn't be used. So then, the marketing team presented to them a name that would want to make you smile, and is still a Mickey Mouse name alternative, that being Chuck E. Cheese. Good, that's good. Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater. No, sir, just Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater. Now, in upcoming few months before the location would be constructed in the San Jose area, a cast of characters would also arise to follow Chuck. The animatronic group, later referred as the Pizza Time Players, would consist of the following. The Warblets, a trio of identical birds providing background vocals to the rest of the gang, with them being located in the middle of the showroom. These birds would sometimes speak directly to the gang, but mainly provided background vocals. Krusty the Cat, probably the most notoriously known forgotten member of the original cast, being the only one to not make it to any other store than the original, as we know of. Krusty was the only person in the original show tapes to really take all of the constant verbal abuse with no way to cope. He overall just didn't seem that exciting of a character, which is probably why he got the boot. Many takes on what would have happened if he stayed for any much longer past the first location have been theorized, and today he is a what if not a footnote in the history of the brand. Sad to say at least he got the last laugh in the end. This stereotype of an Italian plumber located directly under the kitchen and originally was planned to say the order number when it was ready, which quickly was removed. Pasquale is the first character here to stay up to modern day, despite being the most out-of-place character, being the weirdest animal of the bunch.
A straight white man.
Helen was the first guest star for the Pizza Time Theater, being something I'll discuss later. Helen was originally a naked chicken with the tendency to cluck randomly and would often flex about being a star when being her own cabaret character for a while. However, as we'll see soon, she'll join the main cast. Billy Banjo Boggs, Jasper T. Jowls. This fruitcake dog is another character along with Helen and Pasquale to remain today, with his original thing being to hysterically laugh whenever any joke was made, causing Chuck to scream, turn off the fruitcake dog to the guys backstage who would comply. Chuck E. Cheese, the main man himself, has gone through the most changes indefinitely, but originally, Charles was meant to be this rude ringmaster type, with a New Jersey accent and mafia attitude. He often bullied the others, like mentioned with Krusty, while Pasquale fought back and Jasper laughed it off, Krusty just took it. Chuck has by far had the most outrageous changes just by looking at both of them then and now side by side. He's quite literally a rat. With this new cast of characters, blueprints, games, and menu, by May the first location was nearly done, and from an earlier opening for more business-related reasons, by the 17th of May, 1977, Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater was officially open to the public on 370 Street South Winchester Boulevard in San Jose, California. And whoa, look at all those people. So yet, another idea spun in Nolan's mind. The idea to expand. Except you, Krusty, you get replaced. Fuck! Here's Mr. Munch, your replacement. You replaced a baseball stereotype with an alien stereotype? Yes. Nolan, do you have something you need to tell me? It's 1978, in San Jose, California once again. A new location opened, this being 1371 Cooser Road, also known as Cooser. This location was still opened all the way to 2019 and featured a few new things. First of all, Krusty got the boot. Second of all, more guest stars, including Madam Wink, Foxy Colleen, and Dolly Dimples, were added. Dolly, specifically, in an adult-only area known as the Cabaret, specifically for her seductive tone and chest movements for her. Yeah. She later became an animatronic for the kids too, after children kept on coming in anyways, because little kids cannot read the adults only sign, but barely toned down on her tone. Weird. I don't know. Maybe Nolan has a thing for. It's 1979. Expansion started a lot more. Cooser was already a massive expansion, being from an old grocery store, and things were looking up for Pizza Time Theater. But this year really started Nolan's goal to expand, as all of these locations opened. With 6 new locations within the year, the decade would surely show an increase in Pizza Time theaters. However, the 1980s would also show a competitor.
Showbiz Pizza, where we're glad to meet you and greet
you. Pizza Time Theater expanded fast, and by 1980 they were dominating the market, with Sally Sachet and the Beagles joining the Pizza Time cast. However, a hotel chain owner turned Pizza Time Theater location owner, Bob Brock, has been breaking some contracts he made with Pizza Time Theater with this other guy, Aaron Fechter. Now, this guy is making some seriously high-quality bots under his budget, shown especially after the IAAPA Expo of 1979, where even Nolan himself offered Aaron to work with him. And these bots were so good, in fact, that Bob Brock and Aaron and Vector have started their own pizza restaurant with an animatronic band, and in the same place that Pizza Time Theater was gonna put their first location originally. So now they're having the Pizza Time Theater assets that are now Showbiz. And they've got a fun cast of cool, kooky characters like Billy Bob, Looney Bird, Rolf de Wolf, Earl, Fats, Geronimo, Duke LaRue, Moon, Sun, Choo Choo, Beach Bear, and of course, Queenie! Oh, no, I'm just being informed that it is now Mitzi Mozzarella because Disney and Chuckle Cheese got a mouse. I don't know. I thought we were supposed to be unique here, guys. Come on. Anyways, Showbiz wasn't the only competitor, but Aaron in Creative Engineering was responsible for making it very much the most successful, with all of these locations opening in the same year. However, Pizza Time Theater was still ahead of the race, with these all opening in 1980. So with that in mind, let's see how good old Nolan is doing. Fuck you, dirty hoe. You broke the contract. I don't care. Fine, let's take this to court. Your Honor. Yap. This better succeed. Factor. The jury decides in favor of Pizza Time Theater. As Fechter was instructed, Showbiz succeeded as all of these locations opened during the year. However, it always seemed like they went neck and neck with each other. In 1981, Pizza Time Theater went public on the stock market and introduced their final guest character, Harmony Howlett, and the King Cabaret Act, Artie Antlers, and also sometime around the 1980s, a more obscure duck character, which I have no idea on the name of, but I'll put it on screen there. Pizza Time Theater also had the biggest expansion and wide use of the balcony stage, along with the company opening all of these locations. Holy shit. So while Showbiz was certainly doing good, it looked as if Pizza Time Theater was simply doing better. However, that wasn't the case at all. Nolan had thought that the best tactic for this pizza war was that he should keep expanding. And as he had thought since the first location's inception, that this was simply the best way to go. However, this immediately created a large difference between the supply and demand. This ultimately became their downfall, while Showbiz played safe, and it continued to look that way. In 1982, similar events occurred. Pizza Time Theater expanded even more, opening all of these locations, and added the Beach Bowsers and BB Bubbles. Well, Showbiz only opened, which is still quite a lot of locations. Now, these locations as well were often claimed to be inside of another. Oh, and that lawsuit that finally agreed to rule in Bushnell's favor, with Showbiz agreeing to pay a portion of their profits for the next 14 years. And for the most part, things seem to be going up for both companies, with Showbiz taking second place. Because of the recent oversaturation of the video game market, the video game market crashed, leading to what was the worst performing year of the companies so far. With the unexpected crash, many endeavors of the companies were canceled or closed, the biggest example being Zapp's Bar and Grill, a much more adult branch of Pizza Time Theater with a similar premise and a similar mascot. However, one thing remains from this branch. However, the brand unfortunately later closed at 3 locations. Another example being a scrapped Christmas project titled The Christmas That Almost Wasn't, which was never finished. However, the film only featured Chuck and Jasper, and the parts of the film that we do have show the film to be frankly boring. But Pizza Time Theater and Showbiz still expanded, with Pizza Time Theater opening these locations and Showbiz opening these. But by July, Pizza Time Theater recorded their first ever loss of $3 million, and things weren't going well for either company. But due to Pizza Time Theater's efforts to extensively expand and keep going and going, Pizza Time Theater went for the cheese first and bit the bullet. In later months, Nolan Bushnell would leave the company. And after all of this, Pizza Time Theater filed for Chapter 11.
Bankruptcy!